Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown for the week of July 23rd, 2018. My name is Trey. This is the Full Spectrum. Let's get started. We start off this week with One Piece 912, Amigasa Village. Luffy tells Tama the truth about Ace in just a very flat, hey, Ace is dead. It's very nice to see that Luffy has grown and come to terms with the loss of his brother to the point where he's just able to be like, yeah, no, Ace is dead. And then when Hitetsu is just like, hey, what's wrong with you? He's like, well, I'm not going to lie to her. She needs to know. She's waiting for him. He's not coming back. And speaking of Hitetsu, we find out he's a blacksmith who's also waiting for someone. We don't find out who that is just yet. We find out that Ace had washed up here before, and the villagers of Amigasa Village had stolen his food, but Ace being Ace did not get mad at them. We also get this moment where Tama tells Luffy that he doesn't understand how much it hurts her to think that Ace could be dead. And this is a really powerful moment because Luffy just doesn't say anything. And obviously Tama's going to find out later that, Ace is Luffy's brother, and she's going to really regret those words. But, for now, she has no idea, and Luffy doesn't see the need to tell her. Because why would he? It wouldn't be Luffy if he was just like, well, actually, that's my brother, and I super understand how you feel. But I thought that was a really cool scene to have. We also get to see the wasteland of Wano, and Luffy sees someone chasing a woman, and he wonders if it's Sanji. It's not. It's some of the bandits that are working for Kaido. I guess they're not bandits anymore, but they act like bandits. And Zoro takes them down, and Luffy meets up with Zoro again, and Luffy hugs him, and this is a really cool moment where Zoro hears Luffy's voice and is like, Luffy, and has like this giant grin on his face, and then Luffy hugging it, like, seeing these two together again was kind of emotional for me in a way, and I really liked it. We also get to see Luffy asking Zoro if these guys had any food, and Zoro immediately tells him there's food everywhere around here, and Luffy's like, well, the poison though. Zoro goes, that must be when my stomach hurts. And while Luffy's telling him this, Luffy is also eating the food. I guess under the assumption that if Zoro's fine, so will he be? Regardless, Hawkins shows up, and Hawkins immediately recognizes Luffy, but is still intent on doing his job, taking care of Kaido's business. And then we see Luffy, go to draw the sword. Is Luffy gonna fight with the sword in his hand? Because, Luffy's obviously still gonna be using all of his regular punches. Luffy's not changing that, I'm sure. But is he gonna do it while just holding the sword? Is Zoro gonna recognize what this sword is? I'm very, very excited for the next couple chapters, because I feel like we're slowly gonna meet everybody again. And I saw a really fun post on Reddit that was just like, hey, what if Luffy has to go gather them all again, one by one, chapter at a time, individually chapter. Next chapter would be Nami, next chapter would be Usopp, and what recruitment order does it follow then? When does Nami get recruited? I thought that was really cool. But all told, this chapter, definitely 2 thumbs up. Getting to see Zoro and Luffy meet up again. It feels like it hasn't been as long as it actually has, but at the same time it feels like it's been an eternity, if that makes sense. And I just want all the crew back together again, please, soon. Following that, we had Dr. Stone 67, full mobilization. Nikki tells them that Ukyo is the biggest problem they have now, because if they play the song over and over again, he will hear it. And then Taiju has an idea that isn't half bad, that they could just get everybody to listen to it all at the same time and recruit them all at once. We also get a pretty good fake out here, where Magma says that Chrome is dead, but of course we know that Magma's not the most reliable source, and we get to see Chrome surrender after figuring out that Ukyo did not want to kill him. Ukyo absolutely wanted to kill Magma, so Chrome surrendered and saved Magma's life. And then Chrome surrenders and meets Tsukasa and introduces himself as a scientist. It's a really cool scene where Tsukasa's completely domineering, and Chrome's just you don't need to tell me who. You clearly are Tsukasa. You're clearly the leader here. You don't have to tell me. It's fine. We get to see that the whole village is moving to go rescue Chrome. To haul all their supplies, though, is not going to be easy. They got a lot of stuff. So Senku's making a motorized vehicle, and I think this is probably the best reveal of the week, where you see Kaseki is already working on what is clearly a wheel, and you just go, wait, hold on. Oh! So yeah, this was a fun chapter. I liked it. I'll give it a thumbs up. I thought it was really cool. And get to see Chrome like meet Tsukasa and just being like, no, come on. Come on. Who else would you be? Like, I thought that was a fun twist. After that, we have My Hero Academia 191, Dabi, Hawks, Endeavor. Endeavor calls out Dabi for murdering Snatch, and Dabi claims that he is just here to pick up the Nomu. And who was that guy again? Before rushing forward. He's stopped by Mirko, who comes bounding in. Mirko quickly has bounded up the best girl rank. She's not best girl. Ryukyu's still best girl, but she's getting close. Dabi escapes with Ujiko's help, but not before calling Endeavor by his name of Inji Todoroki. Again, fully on board with the theory now. Dabi is Endeavor's other son who was burned and fled and escaped, and that's why, like, the family hates him so much. Like, there's a lot of things that suggest that's probably real, and the fact that he knows his name is only better evidence for that. It could still not be true, like there could be some other reason why he knows his name, but it immediately made me go, The people all thank Endeavor as he passes out, and oh man, this whole next section is super well done. I have to straight up just give congrats to Horikoshi here. The Hawks plot here is amazing. Following will be my exact notes, word for word, in its entirety, as I've read through this chapter, and I wish I was already doing the live reactions when I read through this chapter. Because Hawks is working with the League? He's feeding the League intel to boost his own position? No! He's a double agent? Hawks is such a great character! He's gonna wind up being hated by everybody before this is over. And he really cares about Endeavor! That was my jumping back and forth moment of how well done this is. That Hawks is a double agent in the best way possible. And he's absolutely gonna wind up being hated by everybody. The League's gonna find out, they're gonna hate him. The heroes are gonna find out, they're gonna hate him. Because Hawks is not gonna be like, well, actually, I was doing it for us. Like, even if he said that, who would believe him? But that's not the kind of person Hawks is anyway. He's not gonna say it. And then, the chapter ends with Dabi remembering who Snatch was and realizing that, he almost went crazy there thinking about it. But I love the way that Hawks' story is going. Hawks is such a cool character. There's been all these theories for a while of, like, after we were reintroduced to Hawks, of, like, is Hawks the traitor? And yeah, he actually is. But he's also not at the same time. And that's so good. 2 thumbs up. Hawks, if not for Mirio, would probably be the best character right now, but Mirio is still the best character. I'm sorry. Hawks, you still got time, though. Could still maybe possibly pull it out. It's going to take a lot to rock Mirio off from the top position for me, but man, Hawks, you're great. And Endeavor's good, too. Like, seeing Endeavor at the end of this chapter, just, like, all bandaged up and sitting in the hospital, like, man, I like these characters. After that, we have the Promised Neverland 96, Welcome Home! We see the bodies of the demons and Goldie Pond breaking down as that man runs, telling Emma to hold on. The shelter, we get to see it, and it looks like everything's okay. And it's been 6 days. It feels like it's been way longer than that, but okay. That man bursts in and takes Emma to the table as Gilda goes to stand strong in her threat, holding the detonator in her hand. The look on that man's face as he realizes that she will do it if Emma is dead is amazing. That man gets to business, though, and asks for Don and Dominic so he can start the transfusion, letting them know that Ray told him to ask for him, which makes everybody realize that, okay, maybe he's for real here. With the others, we can see that everybody hopes that Emma makes it through so they can thank her for making such a difference in helping them all survive. Then, Emma wakes up in the shelter. Then, Emma wakes up. And we get to see that everybody, for the most part, is standing over her. Even Zach. Like, Zach's there, Pepe's there, Oliver's there, Lucas is there. The Goldie Pond crew still has a few who are down and out and, like, aren't able to get up yet to come see Emma, but they're all alive. They all made it. And the Grace Field kids I'll welcome Emma home. The kids then pull that man over to her, who introduces himself as Yugo. And there's this really fun moment of her being like, Mr. Yugo? And it doesn't feel right for her, because they've been calling him Geezer and that man and all those things for so long, and just Mr. But Yugo's a good name for him. I like it. It fits. And a month has passed. We get a quick time skip. And Emma is ready to go for Phil and the others. It's time to go back to Gracefield. Gonna give this one a thumbs up for sure. I thought Welcome Home was a really fun touch. I thought that it's a really nice play on words of like, welcome home, you're okay, everybody's fine, everybody's here, but also, welcome home, because we're going home. We're going back to Gracefield to take it over. We're gonna escape. I thought that was really cool. Getting to find out that man's name finally, and we can now call him Yugo, instead of having to call him Geezer or Mr. or that man, as we have for all this time. I thought that was really nice. And then, I saw some people saying it's kind of a cop-out that everybody survived, but I kind of liked these characters, and I feel like they're all going to start dropping soon anyway. And from a, morale standpoint, having everybody survive and they killed all those demons is going to, boost everybody and make them a lot more reckless. So I'm very excited to see how that turns out when it comes to the next big fight. Everybody's like, well, we all made it back last time. It's like, yeah, but you're not all going to make it back this time. So I thought this was a really fun chapter. One thumb up for sure. Looking forward to more. After that, we have Black Clover 166, the Resurrected Avenger. William had an impossible choice to make. He was himself, but he was also Patry. So he let his two best friends choose for him. And in doing so, not only did Julius die, but William was forced into an endless sleep. We see that William may have cared more for Patry than himself, but Patry cared more for revenge than William. And I love that we get this time to delve into William's backstory and get to see that William wasn't the pushover that we all kind of assumed him to be. That William was forced to see everything that Patry had gone through and deal with that hatred and that rage every night in the form of nightmares, but still was friends with Julius. He still didn't just give up on humanity. He let the two of them decide, and unfortunately, Patry was more powerful. Also, the single best twist in all of Black Clover, in my opinion, Rades and his magic. So, the resurrection was supposed to be true resurrection, right? It was supposed to make it where everybody was dead and the elves had their bodies, right? All of the people that the elves woke up in, they were supposed to have complete and utter control of their bodies. Nobody was supposed to do anything about it. It was supposed to be the way that Patry is now with William, where they're in an endless sleep and they can never get up. But we see multiple times that they are not in an endless sleep, that they are awake and are fighting back. We see that Ghosh was able to convince the elf that he was with. We don't see that, but we know it happened because he wasn't there and they were still alive, to leave Gray and Henry alive. We see that, Luck fought back against the elf that was inside him to protect Magna and to protect Noelle. There's all these little moments where that happens, and we couldn't figure out why. Was it just that, the magic wasn't good enough? Was it just that, the elves were still having to fight with the human side, and the elves didn't want to actually commit to this, even though some of them have seemed 100% committed to this? It was Rades. We find out in this chapter that before his soul could be used as price for the resurrection magic, his own magic took it back. So the resurrection is not a true resurrection like it was supposed to be. It's a partial resurrection. Also, this pays off Rades' grimoire in such a wonderful way, because Rades' grimoire only had 1 page in it, and it was like, oh man, this guy's so weak, he's only got 1 page's grimoire. No, it's because his real magic, the real magic that was on that page, was not to res like zombies, it was to res himself. That is such a good payoff. Not just for Rades, but for the Eyes of the Midnight Sun, which had kind of just been, left to die. And then, to find out that not only is Rades back up, but he brings back the souls of Sally and Valtos. So they are back up. Then he uses Valtos' magic to teleport onto the Black Bull's base, intending to use them in his revenge. He wants to team up with them to go take down Patry. So we have Patry, who's trying to push the elves to go for revenge. Lich, who is back, but maybe doesn't want revenge, it's really unclear. The Black Bulls and Asta, who just want to bring everybody back. Silva, who wants to protect the capital. And Rades, who wants to kill Patry. Yes, please. Thank you. This is such a good twist. I love this so much. Because I didn't see it coming. It wasn't just a surprise, but it's one of those where when you look back, you go, oh man, of course. So, 2 thumbs up for sure. Rades is such a cool villain that didn't really get to do anything. And getting to see him come back now and maybe fight alongside the good guys? Like, is there a chance these 3 become Black Bulls? Regardless, this was a really good chapter, and 2 thumbs up for sure. Looking forward to more. After that, we have Food Wars 272, a Subversive visitor. We get a multiple week time skip. And here's Suzuki, or Saiba, or however we want to call him, now a teacher. Soma jokes about the situation that has just occurred. You know, what if this Saiba just showed up and suddenly became a teacher at the school? That'd be weird, wouldn't it? But we also see that he's definitely Soma's brother. There's a lot of small moments where he's just as cocky as Soma is, but also just as friendly as Soma is, and it's very clear. Even if it's just that he's, Joichiro's student, it's clear where they all got these traits from. It was straight from Joichiro. Direct to the point, we see him, and enough so to get Soma off kilter. Because even Soma isn't ready for someone who's more direct than he is. We get to see him also give Soma the same advice that Joichiro did, of, hey, if you really want to perfect your cooking, find someone you want to cook for and that you want them to say your food is delicious. And that'll give you real strength. And then he challenges Soma to a Shokugeki. So I think we can all see where this is going. He's going to completely wreck Soma. And then Soma is going to have to realize that Arena is the one he wants to taste his cooking. And to say it's delicious. And then once he realizes that, he'll basically go up a level and become a better chef. And then he'll be able to beat Suzuki. That's fine. I guess that's not the worst plot, but it's very obvious. So I really hope there's some surprise there, and we find out later that, Joichiro lost on purpose so that Suzuki would have enough, courage to go fight Soma and make Soma better. I don't know. We'll see. For now, this one's a flat even, because this is very, very expected, but not great, After that, we have We Never Learned 72. It's marked sometime disturb the stability of X. We see that Yuiga has hickeys on his neck, and Takamoto goes into full investigative mode to figure out where they came from. First, she goes to Ogata and imagines her on Yuiga's neck. And after that, Kurisu. Next up is Furuhashi. And Takamoto is sure it couldn't have been her, because Furuhashi's, too pure for that. She overhears a piece of a conversation where Furuhashi says, I'll be more careful next time, and immediately goes, it was her! She barges into the conversation and finds out that it wasn't Furuhashi at all, and finds her next suspect, Koba. Then she goes straight into denial, saying that boys probably do that a lot for friendship. It's completely normal. It's revealed later on that it was his siblings in their sleep, and Yuiga begins to think about the arm hickeys that Takamoto gave herself while trying to figure out how hard you had to suck on something to make a hickey. Yeah, this was a chapter. It had some fun gags. I liked a lot having Takamoto just constantly, chasing down the next person, being like, why were you with him? And then them just being like, why do you care? What's it matter? What's up with you? Kurisu at one point telling her that, she's starting to start rumors, you need to go. Shut your mouth and leave. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, it was a fine chapter. It wasn't super funny, but it was better than the last 2, so I'll take it. But all things told, I enjoyed it well enough. It's dead even for me. After that, we had One Punch Man 84, Hideout. Garo wakes up, and the Monster Association was nice enough to give him some clothes. And Murata was nice enough to give us some Garo fan service. So there you go, everybody who's a Garo fan, there you go. He spares a thought for half a second about Bang, and, Bang having to fight off Sentichoro, and then pushes it aside. What's it matter? We meet, again, Machine God G5 from the organization, who now joins the Monster Association and captures the mercenaries that were sent to rescue that guy's son. We also meet King the Ripper, who wants to kill them, but Super S dominates them and makes them her new minions. Then Garo outlines the offer to Garo that he has come up with. Bring back the head of a hero, and he's not only in, but a leader in the association. He has 1 day to do so, and as he leaves to go decide what he's going to do, King the Ripper and Insect God are to follow him. So, this puts Garo to the test, honestly. The one thing he hasn't done yet is kill a hero. He's really badly beaten heroes, but he hasn't killed any of them. And it's almost a mark of pride for him that he's beaten as many as he has, but hasn't killed them. It's called the Hero Hunter, not the Hero Killer. And this will be the turning point if he decides to do it, or if he decides not to do it. Because if he decides not to do it, is he really a monster? And if he decides not to do it and King the Ripper and Insect God came after him, he will kill them. Garo is insane. He will murder them. He's insanely powerful. But what will his decision be? And I'm excited for either path. Honestly, I could see it going either way. And I think that's really cool. So, very much excited for that. Very much so. Also, it was cool to see Machine God G5 again. There was a theory that I noticed on Reddit that was like, what if G5 is actually Night Drive? And it's possible. I don't think it's probable, but it's possible. Regardless, if that's true and Night Drive is in cahoots with the organization to try and stop the association, that's cool. But it's not going to change much, I don't think. Honestly, the association's probably going to wind up clashing heads with the wrong people, by which I mean Saitama, and then it's just going to be over. But I like that because they don't know about Saitama, and they don't know that he can just destroy any of them, they're building up their strength and trying to replace Sentichoro and, get everything together again so that they can try and take on the heroes and win. But regardless, this was a fun chapter, and I'm very excited to see where it takes Garo's character. After that, we had Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V36, The Power of Bonds. And so, after a touching flashback, we just continue the duel like nothing happened. Yuya now effectively has 4 minds, which means he can be working, all out on strategy at all times. But that doesn't really change his strategy for the first half of this chapter. For the first half of this chapter, it's kind of still just him dueling, and he's still losing. Towards that second half of the chapter, he summons Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon, and Clearwing Fast Dragon, and Dark Anthelion Dragon, his brother's monsters. This is where the duel starts to change. This is where they start actually helping with different strategies, and with actually commanding the cards themselves, which is really cool. Because as far as the cards have been concerned, who does it matter? Who's Yuya still the one holding the deck? It's really sick that they're able to do this. It's also super not fair to their opponent, but their opponent's Eve, so what's it matter, right? It's also really cool how only Yuya can feel the damage, and the brothers are forced to just watch as he takes damage to his life points. And they're just like, oh man, they just have to watch with this, look of, oh, come on their face as they see their little brother just getting beat up. And so it really does make it feel a little bit more powerful when they get the upper hand on Eve in this turn. And it looks like the end of the duel. But it's probably not. It's probably not where the duel ends. I can see Eve having I had another pendulum effect that you didn't count on, and here we go! And, see how that goes from there. But this was a fun chapter in the second half, a confusing chapter in the first half, but I did really enjoy it, so I'm going to give it a thumb up. Following that, we had Shokugeki no Sanji. And I wonder if this is why Food Wars took a weird twist, was so they could work on this as well. Regardless, this was really good. Sugita did a really good job writing Sanji in this. And Saiki did a really good job on the art. It looks like One Piece. There are obviously some moments where you can tell some characters in one frame look a little bit more Food Wars than they do in a normal One Piece panel, but there are a lot of moments where it just looks like One Piece. And not only does it have the One Piece look, it also has the One Piece feel, because there's homages and references throughout the entire chapter, which really helps sell to the reader that this is a One Piece chapter. You get to see calling Sovereign a Neptunian or a Sea King, using the background chefs from the Baradier arc, referencing the Grand Line as this mythical place, Sanji taking every complaint and criticism from a customer until they insult Zeph or the Baradier specifically, Sanji making flambe, and it looking like the Diable Jambe flame tornado, Zeph's giant hat, these crazy creatures that live in the One Piece world like the Tomahawk lobster, and its entry being from the Encyclopedia of Rare and Unique Ingredients, East Blue Ver. The mention of the part-timers running off, Sanji giving the same smile he gave Luffy when they were sitting on the side of the Baradier, and seeing the Going Merry in the distance with the One Piece Doom sound effect on the panel. Like, all of those little touches together really sell this as a One Piece chapter. And it's so well done in that regard. Not only that, but the story's pretty good too. The stuff with Sovereign and how, like, she comes from the gourmet world, and Sanji's very clearly not from that. Sanji taking off his coat is such a powerful moment. Getting to see Sanji cook, instead of just knowing that he did, is really cool. It happens once or twice in the main series of One Piece, but it just doesn't happen that often. So it's really cool getting to see him just going crazy back there. We got to see Sovereign Foodgasm twice, which some people may love and some people may hate. And we get to see that she's left questioning her life choices after Sanji has given her this meal. And Sanji, not only tells her she's got to finish everything on the plate, because that's who Sanji is, food never gets wasted, but he also asks somebody to see her out, because he still cares about the customer. But the moment that hit me the hardest was Zeph saying Sanji may have outgrown the Baradier, and then realizing that the Going Merry's on the way. This fits entirely into One Piece canon, and it, as far as I'm concerned, is canon. We'll see if it is when the next big SBS comes out and Oda answers that question. But it might as well be, because it doesn't interfere with canon in any way. And it leads straight up to that moment where we already know all the part-timers are gone, so when Luffy breaks something, he's going to be pulled in as a part-time waiter, and he gets to meet Sanji, and they get to really hit it off, and then everything happens with Don Krieg again. Like, it all leads wonderfully into that moment. And I just really loved this. I thought it was really cool. I know a lot of people were hoping that we get to see Robin or Nami Foodgasm, but this was worth it, in my opinion. This was really good. And as a guy who loves Sanji, you can see the Sanji poster up there, I would love to see more of this. I know we're not going to get any more. This was a one-time thing, but I'd love to see more. 2 thumbs up. All told, though, this has been a really fun issue of Jump this week. There were some high highs, some low, weird middles, but all told, this was great. Till next time, I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. The Jump has to offer.